Good afternoon to you all. From here on in, I'm going to call us all fellow apprentice human beings, because at the end of the day, that's what we are. And I'm the Olga. Today, I'm going to read a little bit out of my book, Letters from Grandma, and then I'll go on to talk about the philosophy that I'd like to share with you today. This is exactly in the book. Life is certainly an interesting journey filled with highs, lows, successes, and uncertainties. The one constant I know, even though I don't always believe it, is this. We are one with this amazing universal God energy, never parted, never separated. As the saying goes, if you feel separated from God, who knew you? And I will say before I go on that at this point I need to give a disclaimer that this video is my opinion only. These are my views and my experiences. I don't expect any of you to follow my words. However, if you do, then I'm sure that you will have similar outcomes to me. But these are my truths, my experiences. And thank you for that. Transformation doesn't come from just the experience. If it did, we would not be struggling spiritual individuals. We would all be fully transformed beings walking this earth, all with similar understandings of our completeness with the source energy. Transformation comes from understanding the teachings and assimilating these teachings into our emerging selves, evolving back into our original greatness, the greatness we were born to be, and to experience all of our days on the earth. We are getting there, step by step, lesson by lesson, revelation by revelation. We are all teachers through our own lives. By living, we touch others, encourage others, inspire others, and stand side by side with each other. I don't want you to label this as either good or bad, right or wrong, but to consider what you have come from today's video to become more of your magnificent self. One of the things that I've learned over the past 4 decades of my conscious spiritual learning, and I will say that I am a medium clairvoyant, and I've done that and I call those the tools of spirit. That's what we can use. Healing as well. I do healing, or I did healing, and they are what I consider the tools. They are the expressions of who we are as we evolve into transformation, going from a being of no spiritual knowledge into a being with some great knowledge, if we ever attain that. And transformation is different to the abilities that we're born with, or the abilities that we discover and generate and improve on and get better at. I call them abilities because I don't see them as gifts. Gifts, if we're going to call clairvoyance and mediumship and healing a gift, then we have to talk about, and I'll use my husband as an example here. He's was a diesel mechanic for 55 years. I guess he still is, he's just not practicing at it at the moment. And people would say to me, if we were at a party or whatever, if they found out what I did for a living, they say, oh my God, what gifts you have, how great these gifts are. And I'd say, no, they're not gifts. But if you want to call them gifts, then you have to call what my husband does a gift as well. Oh, what does your husband do? Does he do clairvoyance? I said, no, he's a diesel mechanic. So why do you say it is a gift? Because everything we do is a gift. My being a clairvoyant is no greater than him being a diesel mechanic. You see, he has to know his trade. He has to keep people alive on the road, truckies and cars, if he's fixing cars. He has to keep them alive. So that's a gift. Either that or it's an ability. I like to consider it's an ability. A gift is something I give to you, but this isn't. This is an ability I was born with, as you've been born with it. But this is a side note. So with transformation, I have to tell you what just happened. I have a cup of coffee, or cup of tea actually, I don't drink coffee. I have a cup of tea beside me. And I have one fly that's buzzing around. Now, spiritually, if you've got a little fly that it just won't go away, it just won't go away. We call those spies. Somebody in the spiritual, or who's working spiritually, has just sent somebody over, a fly, to see what I'm doing, to spy on me. So if you do see a fly in front of the camera, that's what it is. But that's what I hit. I hit my cup. I digress. So back to transformation. Transformation is when we gain knowledge or gather knowledge and we assimilate it into our being, our knowing, and we take it from our head knowing, our academic, our analytical, into our heart knowing. And once we're into our heart knowing, and we then can assimilate it as possibly our truth. And we can only make that happen if it resonates right, if it feels right, if it gels with us. And once we get an awareness or an enlightenment, then we can say, okay, does this make me feel good? Does this feel right for me? If it makes me feel good, trust me, it will in turn benefit you. So in the knowledge that we gain, we then assimilate it and we get to know it and we get to understand it. And then we can start outpouring it into our day-to-day lives. We can then practice it. So let's say, for instance, we get an understanding or an awareness of compassion. And we're really compassionate people, you and I and all the apprentice human beings out there. And can we use more compassion? Can we be more compassionate? Can we have greater understanding? We can't understand your pain, but we can understand you understand your pain. And that's the compassion. And so when we know that, and we can assimilate it, and we can then practice that new learning into our life, day-to-day life, our week-to-week life, then that we're experiencing, that we're putting into our situations, raises our vibration just that little bit more. And that allows us to transform into more of our spirituals. However, and there's always a however, hopefully you'll find that I very rarely use the word but. That's a ball breaker to me. So I replace it with however. It's a little bit more gentle and a little bit more easy to listen to the next section. However, how can we assimilate the new knowledge, the new awareness, the new understanding, the new laws of attraction, whatever it is at the time? And I've worked with this. The way I've worked in my history, and I've been working consciously for 40 years, 40 plus years in the spiritual area. And so I get something or a situation happens to me. And in the first place, I tend to have a hissy fit. My children will tell you that. And that's the human side of me. I'm an Aries, I'm an 8-day, I react. That only lasts for the maximum of about 5 minutes. Then I pull myself in and I go, okay, it's not to my liking, but how can I change it? How did I bring it into my world? How did I create this to happen? What have I done that's allowed this to come in? How did I participate in allowing this to happen in the outside world? You see, there's a lot of I words in there. Me, my, I. And when we use the word I, we are taking on board a thing called personal responsibility. What that means is the person, me, I'm responsible for the things around me. That's a little harsh, isn't it? I get that. We don't like to take personal responsibility on. However, we have to. 95% of the time I'm okay with it, 5% I'm not so okay, but I will take it on board because I understand the process. Now, what it means is this, and this is the analogy I put it in. I'm in a house at the moment, and let's say I own this house. I have a wall and there's a doorway, and I don't like the doorway. I want to change it. I want to make it different. Now, do I have the right to smash that door down and replace it with a different door or a new archway or whatever it is that I want? And the answer, yes, I am. I am able to do that because I own this house. Now, let's say I was renting. Do I still have the same right? If I don't like that doorway, can I smash it and put an arch or something? And the answer is no, because I don't own it. I don't own the house. So if I don't own the house, I cannot change it. That's really important to understand. Transformation just doesn't happen. You're not going to wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm fully transformed. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, whoever. There's a lot of work that goes to it. But the moment we take on the personal responsibility, the ownership of our behavior, of our beliefs, of my reaction and actions, then we can either say they're great ones, we can leave them there, and there's transformation in that, in understanding that we're in tune with our reactions and we're doing it from the right place in our heart, or we can change it. Because if you don't own something, you are a victim to something. So if you don't take personal responsibility, you then become the victim of that circumstance. Now, I cannot alter, nor can you, because we're apprentice human beings, we cannot alter the fact that some situation comes into our world. The only thing we can take responsibility for is how I respond to it, how I take it on. Do I own it? Yes, that was my fault. Yes, I did do that. Now, I can react badly, and by the way, I can react badly. I went to the doctors yesterday, and on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being completely obnoxious, I was about an 8. I didn't like the news. Not that the doctor gave me, but I didn't like something that happened. And I responded with an amazing hissy fit. You would have been so proud of me, honestly. And then I settled down because what I saw is not what I wanted to see, but it was the reality. And when I came home, once I did my hissy fit, I was then able to say, okay, that's the truth. Let's see what we can do about it. But when I came home, because in the doctor's place, I said, right, that's it, and I used a couple of F-bomb words and the whole thing. And by the way, being spiritual doesn't mean to say we're holy than thou. It means we're spiritual. Remember, apprentice human beings, we're getting there. And so, I threw up my hands and I said, that's it. And I'm not. The doctor did say to me, I said, look, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. She said, oh, you've got every right to be frustrated. Yeah, she said something else. She said, I don't take it on board because I know the frustration you're feeling. I know the work you're putting in and I know how you're feeling. So, no, I'm not taking it on board. This is the safe space to, have your hissy fit. So I came home and I said to hubby, ABC happened. Okay, so what do I do now? What is it that I need to change? What information haven't I got that I thought I had? So if I don't have the information, I can't work with it if I don't have it. So I need to research a little bit further. I need to find out why my body's not responding and it's reacting to the things that I'm doing. And so now I need to go back and do research, things like that, because I am taking responsibility for the changes that did not occur, that I thought would have occurred. And some could call it putting on your big girl pants or big boy pants. But it's in the ownership that now I can go and say, okay, I need to do ABC, I need to change this, we're going to add this into my life, this is going into my daily schedule, that sort of thing. I'm taking ownership and change can happen. And that's what happens. And so in this circumstance, when I do this, even better than I've been doing in the past, the transformation in my body and my energy level and my knees, they will all increase and get better and be better. So as much as we have spiritual transformation, we also have physical transformation. And with the physical transformation comes that spiritual transformation. You see, we're not aiming to be perfect. We're aiming to evolve. We're aiming to increase our awareness of all things that are possible. We're aiming to evolve our awareness of others and how our oneness is truly always there. We're transforming into understanding the oneness of human and humanity. And in that, when things transform, when I grow and change as you grow and change into the betterment of who we are, into the magnificent self that we were born to be and who we're creating ourselves to be. And remember, we're apprentice human beings. We are not going to get it right, not every time. And we're not going to get to that magnificent self that we were born to be this lifetime, but we're going to improve and increase the ever-changing ourselves into the best form of us that's possible. That's transformation. There's the transformation of understanding our oneness with the universe. So there's many levels of transformation, but it comes from applying the information, the knowledge, the insights, the inspiration, the wisdom, and implementing into our day-to-day life. How best can I serve you? How best can I see and help you with your pain? How best can I hear what you are telling me? This is all to do with transformation. This is all to do with bringing in the best of who we are as often as possible in the beginning, and being more of that all the time as we evolve and understand the vibration that we live in and we personally work in. But this cannot happen without ownership of our actions, reactions, of taking on our beliefs. Because you see, what if a belief that I've had, you see, beliefs are interesting things. I'll go into another video on this. I'll admit you know it. Beliefs are given to us. They're not ours. They're been given to us through the spoken word, through the written word, through insight, through others' opinions, and they've been given to us physically and non-physically. But they're not ours. They didn't just pop in one day. And so we need to go and look at our beliefs. Are they working for us now? Is that judgment that I have on a certain person or a certain thing or even a certain food, is it working for me anymore? Can I replace that with another one that is more conducive to who I am today? It may have been okay for the Barb that was, in her 30s or 20s or 10s or whatever, but in my 70s, is it working for me today? Is that belief allowing me to be the best that I can be, to be the most compassionate person with the most empathy person that is within me to bring it out? Is that belief doing good for me? If it's not doing good for me, it won't be doing good for you. Because if it's not doing good for me, I'm not giving you the best of me. And you can't give the best of you to me. And this comes back to personal responsibility, to ownership. And when we are fully understanding, and we never will fully understand it, but when we recognize it and we implement it, then our spiritual vibration will rise and we will be transforming who we are, who we were, to who we are, to who we're becoming. Sounds hard, it's not really. But by gosh, you've got to work at it. Don't you hate that? Oh, I remember when I was with Crystal, and we're going back 40 years now, and I'll go more into who she is another day and the influence she had on me, and the complete influence she had on me. And she's part of my whole spiritual journey. But you know how I was saying in the introduction that these won't be perfect, that I'm not perfect. I will tell you that something that has happened to me in the last 5 years is that every now and again, what I was speaking about, the whole thing has gone out of my head. It's not Alzheimer's, it's not dementia. I do know what causes it, and we've sorted it out, but we can't fix the problem. And I've just lost that train of thought, so hopefully it will come back. So I do apologise. It's a good train of thought too, I'm sure. I just can't remember it. Yes, you may laugh at me, you know, we are apprentice human beings after all. And I'm not going to cut that out. I'm not going to edit that. I want you to know that no matter how much work I've done, no matter how many people I've helped, no matter how much soul searching I've done and the changes and the transformation that I've had in the last 40 years, conscious living spiritually, that we have very human moments. And that was one of them. So, you know, if that started, you have that occasionally, well, welcome. So we'll get back to the basis, transformation. When we look at our beliefs and we say that we can do better and we learn how to do better and we find out the plan that allows us to do better, then we are transforming. We are assimilating and we're transmuting our energy into that higher vibration, which is spiritually what we're aiming for. Before I finish, I want to read you something here, again from my book. This book is not a how-to-do-it book, but a long life journey from fearfulness to gratefulness, the journey from thinking I was ordinary to knowing I am brilliant. Why do I know this to be a fact? Because I am a child of the universe. I am a child of the source. I am a child of the universe. I and the Father are one. All that the Father is, I am. All that the Father has, I have. I am the Father's expression of itself as me. And before we go, I would like to, this is just a little bit of housework. I would like you to subscribe. Now, subscribing is a really interesting concept. I was out for lunch with a friend the other day, and she said that she you know, listened to my introduction. And I said, did you subscribe? And she said, oh, look, I'm just not sure how much that's going to cost me per month. And I thought about that in that moment. And that's how I felt initially when I started, not doing this, but when I started subscribing. Subscribing is free, doesn't cost a thing. And the fun part of subscribing is when you subscribe to my channel or anybody else's channel, the people who own that channel, myself, we don't get to know who you are. We don't know who the subscribers are. We just know how many there are. So you're off the hook there. But it doesn't cost you anything. What subscribers do, it's like on Facebook likes. It gives an algorithm information that a certain amount of people are finding and liking, subscribing onto our channel, and then the algorithms for YouTube will then allow more people to see the video and to have that experience. So that's all subscribing is. There is no cost. You will not be getting a follow-up email. You will not be harassed, any of that, because that's what I thought in the beginning. That is what I thought in the beginning. And so if I thought that, I do know that there'll be others that will think that as well. So we don't get your information. It is private. It's just in cyberspace somewhere. So please subscribe. And if you like what we've got, then please share it with others. Now, if there is something that you would like me to research, discuss maybe an experience that I've already had, and then I can make a short video of this. It's been absolutely my pleasure to do this. I will tell you that it has taken me a week of courage and confidence to do my next one, and that's why the delay. But after now, I'm feeling good, and I will be creating more, and hopefully there'll be 5 to 10 new videos a week for you to share. Some will long, some will be short. I will put in the description what the category is. I was thinking about the category, how to make folders on YouTube. And what came to me this morning is all I need to do is put law of attraction or philosophy or whatever folder it will go. So when you see it, you see the law of attraction, you know that's what I'll be talking about. It's philosophy, you know that's what I'll be talking about. So sometimes we need to be inspired, we need those messages to drop in with the information. If I can do it, you can do it, and if you can do it, I can do it. Remember, we are fellow apprentice human beings. Haven't got it right, but we're getting there. So good night, wherever you are in the world. Be blessed because you are. Catch you next time.